Here's my latest LEGO Technic Supercar, the fictional Ichthia Epitome. First of all, it's got an opening hood that's spring-loaded with this shock back here. It's also got a very minimal amount of storage space up here, just enough for a spare shirt. The doors have little locks on them, which you can undo by doing that, and they're also spring-loaded. Another interesting function is that when I push the handle here, the internal door handle also moves. This engine cover here can open, and right now all you can see is a convertible roof, because it also doubles as the cover for the roof. As in a car like this, storage is always at a premium. I use some of my extra space to make an extra storage container. A bit fairly deep. Not much, but it's something. Inside there's this little LEGO shopping bag. Interior, there's an opening glove box here. And adjustable seats. They can slide forward and backwards using a linear actuator, a small one. And still going forwards. Then back again. Oops. And there's also a worm gear down here. Turn this little knob down at the bottom, I can tilt the seat forward and backward. A very novel feature I included in this car is the mini CD player. When I press this button here, the CD pops out. Then you can push it back in and pop it out. Interior, this here controls the parking brake, and that the central differential lock. They are working. Parking brake, central differential lock. Switch in here that controls the pneumatic compressor. And there's also the speed indicator back here, currently in 6th. You can also take this mug or whatever out of the glove box and put it in this cup holder here. And the steering wheel is here, and it does. The gas and brake pedals also work. Gas. And brake. And back up again. There's a little bit of suspension. Theoretically there's suspension, but the car is pretty low. A bit more noticeable in the back here. Feels more noticeable at least. Of course it's easy to just bend the bodywork a bit and make it look good. But there's suspension. Let's see. The wishbones front and rear. The rubber bands. And there's some hard shocks up there too. That you can see or not. The spoiler can go up using a power functions medium motor, and then it will tilt when it gets to a certain height. Also, it can reveal something down here. It's kind of hard to see, but that's a monkey at a control panel. I had some extra space, and I thought I'd do something funny. The idea is that he's the brains behind the automatic transmission shifting. No computer was good enough. Anyways. Probably my favorite feature of the car is the steering. So, I use, first of all, got a servo motor in the front, steering the front axle, and the steering wheel. Then we've got front aero flaps. synchronized with it. But better yet, we've got some stuff happening in the rear too. So right now it's got some crab steering going. It's less in the back. It's always like that in real life, but you can see it. And then you can also see these aero flaps on the spoiler. But a cooler thing is that, just like in real life, the rear axle steering is speed dependent. I couldn't measure the speed of my car, and it never really gets any speed anyway with all its weight, but so I just used what gear it's in. It's in a high gear, like 7th or 6th. I'm not sure what 5th. Then it does crab steering. Like that. But if it's in a medium gear, it doesn't do any. And if it's in a low gear, it does the opposite. I'll do some shifting and then I'll show you. Alright, now it's in regular 4-wheel steering mode. So that one goes out when that goes out. And the flaps on the same side are always on. It also has windshield wipers using a medium motor. You can adjust the hardness of the suspension using a medium motor in the front and a large motor in the back. Each one turns a worm gear that winds up a rubber band connected to the suspension. And that hardens it. A Power Function's large motor runs the convertible roof. There's relatively weak disc brakes on all 4 wheels. They use the discs from the Chiron set. Got these things here, but on the other side there's a rubber axle joiner. You can see the top of it there, just above my finger. That pushes against the disc, made possible by how tough these things are. Anyways, this medium motor here runs some gears, which runs a large linear actuator, which moves this massive assembly, which then pulls strings, which do this whole fancy thing, and brake with a little bit of power. Let's see it go. It also has a working brake pedal, as I showed you earlier. It really doesn't make a big difference, but at least kind of works. If I brake a bit more further, I'm probably going to break the whole thing, but maybe it'll put them on a little harder. And back the other way now. When the brakes go on, the aero flaps also respond. Here's starting to move up. And the spoiler has already tilted a bit, and that's what happens when it brakes. But you can see it was that much down. A Power Function's medium motor, hidden just back there, runs this pneumatic compressor. This pneumatic cylinder here controls the rear differential lock. There's a rubber axle joiner right there to allow it to bend in a very small space. The car has all-wheel drive with 3 differentials and all-wheel steering, as I showed earlier. And then all the suspension has fancy geometry too. It's got quite a bit of negative camber. You can see the wheel is tilted that way a bit. It's got kingpin inclination. Hard to see that here, but this is the steering pivot on the top, and it's back about a stud or a half a stud on the top. It's got caster, which is more obvious. You can tell it's all tilted that way. And I think there's at least one more. Caster, camber, kingpin. Oh yeah, well then there's just Ackerman steering geometry as well. The steering links from here go out here. So that, if you draw the line through there, and the steering pivot goes about to here. to here. This servo motor here works brake pedal. The weird thing is that because this motor happens to be broken a certain way, the wire's wearing down, it can only go one way, which actually kind of allowed for a more compact build here, but still, I don't know, it's almost cheating, but my motor actually was broken. I didn't have any others, so I couldn't have done anything else. This link here also is how it slides with these beams when the brakes go, and that pulls the brake pedal down. The car has a Boxer 8 piston engine, hooked up to the drive. Unfortunately, the gearbox has a few weak links, most notably these gears here, which keep it from driving in all odd gears, which is quite annoying. I think I did coax it to drive in first, but I was probably holding these. Anyways, fortunately, that's the only part of the car that doesn't really work. Here's my Lego Technic Ichthia Epitome looking a bit disheveled, because I was testing the gearbox, and it doesn't turn out that it actually works that well in a full-size car like this. So I ripped out the engine and other stuff to get a good look at it, but right in there, there's two 8-tooth gears meshed under that red axle, and that will twist and break on all the all the odd gears except for maybe gear 1. And then I did manage to coax it to drive in all the other gears, but it's pretty hard. I sometimes had to hold driving rings in place and stuff. But I'll show a bit of it driving. Here it is in reverse, but actually driving forward because I cranked the thing the wrong way, I guess, on my remote. Right. Slow but steady. To shift up, that large motor there from the worm gear, rotates that, pushes that up there, and to the other side, and the speed indicator indicates that it's in gear 1. It's not going to drive in gear 1. I know what happens when I try. That thing there doesn't like it. Gear 2, yeah. Then shifting up, and now gear 3 isn't going to work, so I'll skip it and move on to gear 4. And gear 4. There it goes. And gear 5 won't work, sadly. So I'll move on to gear 6. Gear 6. Catch it while you can before something else breaks. Really a decent speed. As for torque, oh, pretty much driving into that. I'm quite pleased with this model. It's got an incredible amount of functions in a big space, but small for that many functions. And most of them work pretty well. Done some new to me things, and I mean, really, this is the car I've been trying to make for a while. Was kind of my ultimate car. I don't really see any way I could improve on it, at least in numbers of functions. At least not for the time being.